So today we will start with the first basic model of a machine design one, that is the design of machine element. So today I will start with the proceedings, that is introduction of design of machine element. So before I start with the actual design, that is from the module number 2, it is very important that I revised all your concept which you have already studied, the strength of material, engineering mechanics, and materials technology. So today I will revise this in the module number 1. Okay. Now basically, since this is the first subject from the series of design, machine design, because next comes the machine design 2 and next comes the machine design of machine elements, DME. So we'll start from the basics. First of all, what is design? Okay, everybody know what is machine. First of all, you'll understand what is design. How can you define a design? So there are a lot of definitions of the design. We are not going to go into the rocket science of the design, you can say, definition of the statement. We'll just try to understand that design is something to formulate a plan or satisfy a particular need and to create something with physical reality, right? So whenever something comes in your mind, for example, it's like a realization of a concept or idea into the configuration, right? It's a realization of a concept or an idea into the configuration. So something comes in your mind, then you decide to, whenever you decide to manufacture this or bring into the reality, you have to first bring it on the paper, you have to formulate some plan, and then you have to satisfy some particular need, and then you have to create something with a physical reality, right? So that is why we can say that design is a realization of a concept or idea into a configuration. Okay, so basically there is one more definition for the design, or you can say that design is the creation of a plan or convention for the construction of an object, system, or measurable human interaction. Okay, so you can call design in number of ways in your own way. Okay, like formulating a plan, creating something new, okay, inventing something new, or you can say modifying something. Okay, so it's like a realization of a concept or area into the configuration, right? So this is nothing but a design. Okay, so you have to design something which comes in your mind, you have to break into actually into the physical reality, right? But it is not possible to directly bring it into the physical reality. You have to work on it. You should have some planning. Okay, you should have some design methodologies. You should use some basic principles, and then it will come to the actual reality. So let us take an example of a simple component of a clutch of an automobile. Now, what is the function of clutch of an automobile? To engage and disengage, the automotive engine to the road wheels, because the power has to be transmitted from the automotive engine to the road wheels, and you should engage it and disengage it at the wheel of the operator. For example, if you want to stop the vehicle, you will disengage the clutch. So power engine will be you can say running. But power will not flow from the engine to the road wheels, right? And if you are engaging the clutch when the vehicle is running, the power will start flowing. Okay. Now this is the actual clutch plate which you are using in the automotive. Okay. But can you directly use it? No. You have to design it first of all. So design of clutch. So you have to design the clutch based on the application. Whether you have to use the clutch into the light motor vehicle, into the two-wheelers, into the four-wheelers, or into the heavy vehicles, or you have to use in some industrial machines. So depending upon that, you have to work on your plan. So this is as an example of a design of clutch. Similar design of automotive gearbox, design of automotive flywheel, design of automotive springs. So everything you have to initially design by using some. Now design can be a numerical, design can be a mathematical. Numerical means what? By using some software analysis. Okay, and mathematical means what? On the paper, by hand, or by using some mathematical concepts, and by using some engineering principles, we are creating a design on a page. And then ultimately, why you're creating a design on the paper or on the page by using some mathematical principle? Because whatever the machine you are designing, whatever, let's not go into the deep into the machine. Let us see you are designing a component. So that component should not fail at an early stage of the life. Let us say you are designing a rolling contact bearing or sliding contact bearing. So whenever you are designing a bearing, let us say it should work into the particular shaft or the automotive for for, you can say, some finite number of cycles. Let us say for 1 year, let us say for 6 months. So it will have some cycle. And if it fails earlier, then what will happen? If the design fails, okay, so that will create, you can say, the cost issue or the maintenance issue, and that it will finally affect the product of your company. Okay, so basically you have to check whether that the component will fail in that particular life cycle or not, then under what loading conditions it will fail. Okay, so what are the types of loads, static load or dynamic loads. Okay, then accordingly you have to select the material, accordingly you have to select the components, accordingly you have to select the dimensions, you have to create the geometry. So this all comes under the design, my dear students. Okay, is it clear? Okay. Now, next is machine, basically. Now, already you know what is machine. Just I am revising. Machine is defined as a combination of resisting bodies with successfully constrained relative motions. Okay. So basically, there are a lot of types of machine. Machine is a, you can say, is a mechanism which is a combination of links and chains, and it is having some constraints, successfully constrained relative motions. In the theory of machine, you have already kinetics of machine, you have already studied. Okay. Then machine is used to transform the energy into, let us say, into the mechanical, or transmit some energy, or modify the available energy. So ultimately, machine should do some work. Machine should generate some power. So let us take an example of a IC engine. What is the example of what is the function of IC engine? Ultimately, it is used as a power plant in the automotive. Its function is to generate a power, right? Okay. So machine is basically used to design to perform some particular task, right? It is used to design some particular task. Okay. Now we have some semi as well as we have fully automated machines. Okay, depending upon the applications, we will not go into the detail. So now finally let us understand what is machine design. So now we have to design the machine, or now basically try to understand that in this particular particular syllabus subject, we are not completely designing a machine. We are designing a machine elements. Means what? We are designing the parts of the machine. Okay, we are not designing a complete machine. I hope you understand it. Means, for example, we are designing some quarter joint, we are designing some knuckle joint, we are designing some you can say a clutch, you are designing, and then finally in a vehicle you will assemble this. Okay, so you know that in the industry also the different parts are designed and manufactured, and then they are assembled. So different vendors or different small scale industries will, you can say, there will be a company which will be designing and manufacturing of bolts, okay, and studs. Some company will design and manufacture tires. Some company will design and manufacture clutches. Some company will design and manufacture gearboxes. Some company will design and manufacture IC engines. Some company will design and manufacture chassis. Some company will design and manufacture something, you can say, electronics parts or electrical parts, and then you, and there will be a parent company which will, for example, let us say Tata or Maruti. It will so normally this parent company, which is nothing but the Maruti, or you can say what can I say, Tata company. Okay, so they are giving a project to this small company which is called as a child company. Okay, so parent company is a Tata company, and there are small vendors which are manufacturing the small parts. They are called as a child company. Okay, so this child company will depending upon the project, and according to the project given by this parent company, they will design all these components. Okay, so as an engineer, as a machine design engineer, you can start working with the small child companies. Okay, and you can learn all these procedures, and then you can move on to the parent company also. Okay, so I hope you have understand this. Okay, now we have also a lot of softwares nowadays. CATIA is there, Creo is there, UGNX is there, SolidWorks is there. So a lot of softwares are also there. With the help of it, you can do the stress analysis, and you can, but again, as I said, that the basic fundamental will never change. Whatever the basic fundamentals are there, they will never change. Okay. So now let us first what is machine design. So machine design is defined as the use of scientific principles. Try to understand this statement. Huh? I will elaborate it. Machine design is defined as the use of scientific principles. I have highlighted to the red color technical information and imagination to describe a machine or a mechanical system to perform specific functions with maximum economy and efficiency. Right? I hope you understand this. Means what? You have to, while designing a machine, that is a machine components, you have to combine all the scientific principles. Now, can anybody tell me what is scientific principles? Yeah, we have Newton's law of motion, we have D'Alembert principle, we have Boyle's and Charles law of gases, we have Carnot cycle, we have Bernoulli's principles. A lot of scientific principles are there which are already exist. Then a technical information. Technical information is what? Like the technical informations which are already available as a database, which is already available in some books or some you can say design data books, right? So that technical information will come back. Now these two are not sufficient. Finally, the imagination, which is very very important part because finally ultimately it's a realization of a concept. Something is coming from your mind. So scientific principles, technical information, and imagination. Okay. So combining this, you are designing something, and then while you are designing something, you are not designing something for some time pass, right? Because it will incur some cost, it will incorporate a cost, right? So obviously, whenever you are designing something, uh, you should have some specific, you can say the requirements, specific, you can say the output, okay, specific application, okay, so specific function. And obviously, the final important part is maximum economy and efficiency. Is if you are designing something and it is not reliable, okay, it is not acceptable by the market, what will happen? So that is why this machine design is also called as a, or you can say it is termed as a industrial design. I will explain it further. This machine design is being converted into the industrial design because industrial design, machine design is a basic fundamental, but the most important is the industrial design because whatever you design, whatever you manufacture, that should be readily accepted with the market, right? वो market में चलना चाहिए. Otherwise, what is the use of all these things? Because it requires a cost, it requires, you can say, a lot of efforts, it requires a lot of time, lot of, you can say, components, lot of facilities to design a machine or design a machine element. Okay. So basically, what is the importance of machine design for the engineers? Okay. What is the importance of machine design to the engineers? Right? Why this machine design is important to the engineers? Okay. So let us understand first of all. Okay. Now, as I said that, now already I have given you a long definition of a machine design. So it's a kind of a technical definition. Okay. But it's very important that I simplify it. So I have simplified this. What is machine design first of all? Okay, then let us understand why it is important. So machine design is nothing but a creation of new and better machines. Okay, so in a simple word, you can anybody ask you what is machine design? So machine design is nothing but creation of new and better machines. Okay, now it is not only a creation of new and better machines, improving the existing one. Improving the existing design is also machine design, right? So, creation of new and better machines and improving the existing ones so that it is economical in the cost of production and operation. That is economical. So, these three words I have highlighted here: creation, improving, and economical. A very very important word. So, this is how we define the machine design. Okay. Now I will just give you a highlight how the design is born. Okay. So basically you say that, sir, basically I am saying that the design is born from the mind of an engineer, right? Design is born from the mind of an engineer. Means how does the mind of an engineer think? Okay, I will give you some direction to it. Okay. So let us say in the mind comes the creation of a machine. We are thinking of creation of machine. So then what does the next come? What is the requirement? Okay. Then what is the requirement? Why whenever you are thinking to design something, is there any requirement? Yeah. There is a very, very first important thing, the whether it is required or not. If something is not required, what is use of designing? It is a time waste, na? So something which you are going to create, when an engineer is going to create, first of all, you have to think about the requirement. Once you think about the requirement, second is you have to create some model. Model means what? Because actual machine or actual component design will take a huge cost, incur huge cost. So you have to create a small model, small rough idea. It is very, very important that it's called as a prototype. Then comes the marketability, whether whatever you are designing, even if it is required, whether it will sustain in the market or not, you have to obviously think. Okay. So what you have to do, you have to do a market surveys. Now you know that nowadays the appearance and look is very, very important along with the basic fundamentals. For example, if you are designing an automotive car, first of all, whether it is required or not, yes, it is required. Now, if it is required, will it stand in the market? Will it be buy by the users, buy by the customers? So you have to give some, there are a lot of cars again. So you have to give some aesthetic considerations too, right? So aesthetic consideration is not what external appearance of look. For example, the styling of an automotive, right? Comes. Then ease of handling. If the machine is very, if the component of the machine is very, very difficult to handle, no one will buy from you, no one will accept. So ease of handling is very important. Safety. If that particular machine is not safe, okay, it is not safe also, it will not pass the government rules and regulations. So I hope you understand this. I hope you understand this. What points we have to see? Okay, what points you have to see? We have to understand. Now next is economical. Now guys, something you are designing, if it is not economical, so what will happen? You will not get a customer. The company or the engineer. Let us say you are working as an engineer in some company. Okay, so your product will not stand into the market if it is so costly, right? So it should be economical, right? It should be economical. Very very important. So guys, till now we have understand that what is machine design and what parameters you have to look, right? Recyclability. This is not a compulsory part, but nowadays you know that considering all the environmental rules and norms, if that parts are able to recyclable, it is very very useful. Okay. Now, once you have studied this, now comes the availability of the funds. Now, this availability of the funds is a different branch because whenever you are designing something, whether you have funds or not, or how much funds will be required, so that you have to study. Now, let us say you have availability of the funds. Everything, this all is done. Now, available material. Whatever the component, whatever the part you are designing, if the material is not available, what you will do? You will go for the alternative materials. Okay, alternative material is also not available. So you have to stop here. You can't proceed. So guys, as a design engineer, to bring some product into the market, you have to think in a lot of terms. Okay. Next is manufacturing resources. Now we have available material, but there are not manufacturing resources. Means there are not machines. Okay. There are you can say no any manufacturing resources available so that you can manufacture the part. For example, if you are designing a vehicle and you don't have a workshop, you don't have a welding machine, you don't have a cutting machine, you don't have a net machine, you don't have some precision tools. What you will do? Okay. And now once you have think all about the scenario that okay, I have to create something, yeah, it is required. Marketability studied. Okay. Market survey you have done, aesthetic you have taken care of, ease of handling, safety, economical, availability of funds. Okay. Now we'll go for the analysis. Otherwise, why to waste time on the analysis? Analysis means what? A mathematical analysis, a mathematical modeling. Okay. Now, what comes under the analysis? Stress analysis, force analysis. Then you will select the material. Okay. Now the materials are available. Obviously, so you will select the materials. And once you have the materials, then the sizes. Sizes means what dimension. What will be the size of the components? Now, guys, have you understand this? Just message me yes, whether you have understand this part or not.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So this is how the machine design is born, and this is how we have to think, right? So this is a theoretical part which may come for a 5 marks in the exam. So I've explained it with the help of this particular diagram. You can just remember in this way and write in your own words. Okay. Okay. Now, now guys, everything is done. Okay. Now everything is done. Now what is the next part? What is the basic knowledge required for machine design? Now, as an engineer, what is the basic knowledge? Because obviously the machine design is incorporated into the semester, you can say sixth. It is not incorporated into the medical semester number one. You are not studying in the first year. You are studying in the at the end of the third year. Why so? Because you require some basic knowledge. First is mathematics. Second is engineering mechanics. Now you'll say, so why engineering mechanics? Stress strain analysis. Okay, static loading, dynamic loading. Why mathematics? Because you have to do the mathematical calculations. You have to apply some mathematical principles. Then technical information. Now, as I said that machine design is a combination of a scientific principle. So what are the scientific principles? All the laws, along with the technical information. Technical information means what? Whenever you are designing a machine, you are combining some basic machine elements. So you should have some technical information of basic machine element. Okay. Now, what is the technical information we'll understand? Next is skill and imagination. As I said that this is the last but very, very important. If you don't have a creative mind, if you don't have that imagination, and even if you don't have, it will come after some experience. Okay. Now, let us say in engineering mechanics, Newton's law of motion is there, D'Alembert principle is there, Bernoulli's principle is there, Boyle's law, Charles' law. Okay. So already you have studied, you have to just remember those. Then comes the basic principles. Okay, I have already explained. Then and technical information. Now technical information is what we should have the technical information of, let us say, bearings, oil seals, gear drives, chain drives, belt drives, right? This is what all you are using. Okay, is it clear? So these are nothing but a technical information of some, you can say, the basic machine elements, okay, which are already available into the market. Now guys, try to understand that each and every part you are not going to manufacture. For example, bearings. There is a company called as the Escape Bearings, which already produces the bearings, manufactures the bearings for all types of applications. You should just have a technical information of that bearings. There is a company which is manufacturing oil seals. So no need to. So when you, let us say you are designing a vehicle, are you manufacturing each and every part? No, there are some standard. We'll understand in the later part. There are some standard machine elements, machine parts which are already available and manufactured on a large scale. And that is why, since it is manufactured on large scale and it is accepted worldwide, the cost also drastically reduced. The gear drive, chain drives, belt drives. So lot of components are already available. You just should have a technical information of it. Is it clear? I hope you understand this. Okay. So basically, you can say that a machine is a combination of all these basic elements, right? So you should have all the knowledge of this basic technical information of these basic elements. Okay. Means what? As an engineer, as a design engineer, we should know all the relative advantages and disadvantages of their basic elements and their suitability in the different applications. How they will suit into the different applications. What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages? Okay. Is it clear? So, along with these basic principles of mathematics, basic principles of statics, basic principles of dynamics, basic principles of thermodynamics, heat transfer, vibration, fluid mechanics, everything. You should have this all this. So these are the three important parts. I hope it is clear to all of you. Okay. Uh, Now just I will just move forward this. So in engineering mechanics, these are the, you can say, the basic subject like mechanics of machine, mechanics of material, fluid mechanics and thermodynamics. You have already studied this. Strength of materials, workshop processes, engine drawing, computing, finite element analysis. So these are all the subjects which you have already studied in your particular syllabus, and all you have to just apply here. Okay. Now uh, this is the next part, which is called the classification of machine design. Now, basically, how will you classify this machine design? Now, basically, machine design is classified into the three types: adaptive design, development design, and the new design. Okay. Now, basically, first of all, whenever you are designing something, you should understand that whether it's a adaptive design, whether it's a development design, or whether it's a new design. Okay. Uh, this is the PPT which I'll be giving you, so no need to write down anything. It's theoretical part. Now, what is adaptive design? Just look at this first part. Okay, adaptive design is nothing but the designer work is concerned with the adaptation of the existing design. Means what? There is an existing design already, and as an engineer, what you will do? As an engineer, you will just do the minute changes. Minute changes means what? I'll just come to the slide. Just go on down. Okay. The designer only makes some minute changes or minute modification in the existing design of the product. Means what? Whatever the existing design you have to just make a minute existing design. For example, designing a bicycle or a mechanical watch. So already the bicycle or the mechanical watch already it is existed. So what modification you can do? What more creative you can do? Okay. So you can take an example of a bicycle. There are different types of bicycles nowadays available into the market. The basic fundamental is same. They are just doing a slightly modification. They are maybe changing the color. They are maybe changing the size of the tire. They are maybe changing the height. Small modifications they are doing, and they are just trying to sustain it in the market. So that becomes adaptive design. Is it clear? Development design is slightly a type of design which needs considerable scientific training and a design ability in order to modify the existing design into a new area by adopting a new material or different method of manufacture. Okay. Now basically again this development design is not completely a new or invention. It's again you have to make some modifications into the basic design or the existing design, but you have to do the modifications into the large amount, not as like the adaptive design. Means what? You are, let us say you are completely changing a material, you are completely changing the method of manufacture, you are trying to reduce the cost, you are trying to reduce the weight, you are trying to increase the performance. For example, the changes in the IC engine of an automobile, it comes under the development design. Research and development is completely going into the IC engines. So completely that design is good. So designer starts from the existing design, but final product may differ quite markedly from the original product. So the existing design, the designer will take the existing design and it will make some huge modification and final product will appear different. Okay, but it's not a completely new design, right? So basically lot of work or lot of, you can say, the analysis which is going into the industry comes under this development design. So because since we are a developing country, we are always under this development design. Okay, and the last comes the new design, which is slightly a different one. Means what? You are designing something new, it's an innovative design. Okay, the designer is designing something which did not exist earlier. Okay, so completely new. You have to do a lot of research work, lot of technical ability you should have. You should have creating thinking. It's like a taking a patent. It's like a becoming a scientist. You can say a designer scientist, right? I hope you have understand this. Please message me yes or not if you have understand this. Okay. So example, I will just give you an example. In adaptive design, designing a bicycle's mechanical watch comes under the adaptive design because we are just making a minor module alterations. Development design, combining the principle of bicycle and IC engine. Okay, now there is a bicycle, there is a IC engine. Now you are combining these and you are developing a motorcycle. It can be called as a development design. Let us say you are designing a manual, changing a manual gearbox to automatic gearbox, or a mechanical watch to quartz watch. So this comes under the, because you are making a lot of modifications. You are completely changing the style, completely changing the base, not basic fundamentals, but completely changing the output. And new design, the first airplane. Whoever has designed the first airplane comes with a new design. The first airplane or the first weapons, right? Everything which is designed for the first time comes under the new design. So we are always under this development category, and there are we are also working on the adaptive designs also, and obviously some scientists are working on the new theories also. Okay, so now now we'll come to the actual part, that is a classification of machine design. That is the types of design based on the method, right? Now this is what you have to look for. The types of the design based on the method means what? We have a rational design, empirical design, and industrial design. Now, as I earlier said that this industry we will be, I have explained the word called the industrial design. Now, exactly what is rational design? What is empirical design? Okay. Now, in your machine design syllabus, we are going to use all this concept, that is a rational design, empirical design, and industrial design. We are not using much, but we are more focusing on the rational and the empirical design. Okay. Now, first of all, what is rational design and what is empirical design? We'll finish off this and then we'll stop. Okay. So I am having some problem with the slide. Okay. Now, I'll just finish it off. It's a very small definition. What is what is rational design? Now, rational design is something, or you can say design, which is based on a stress and a strain analysis, right? Means what? Already we have studied a lot of. So in this particular syllabus, we will be doing a lot of stress and strain analysis. So a design which is based on determining the stresses and strain of a component and then deciding the dimensions. Means what? Whenever let us say you are designing something, modifying something, you have to select the dimensions. You have to design the dimensions. So based on determining the stresses and strains of the component and thereby deciding the dimensions, right? So basically, this type of design depends upon mathematical formula of the principle of mechanics, right? Means we are using a lot of mathematical formulas. For example, a mathematical formula for a tensile strain, what mathematical formula for the, what can I say, compressive strain, mathematical formula for the torsional shear stresses, torsional shear strains. Okay, a mathematical formula for some another type of stresses, maybe a bending stresses. So all this, by using this mathematical formula, we are doing a stress and strain analysis. So that comes under rational. So most of the part will be dealing with the rational design. We are doing a stress and strain. And the second was the empirical design. Empirical means what? Based on the past experience. Means what? There are some, you can say, formulas which are called as the empirical formulas, which are based on the practice and past experience. Means someone has already worked on it, and now he's saying that. For example, if I am saying you that please follow this method, why I'm saying you please follow this method? Because I have that experience, I have already used it, and I have got the result. So why to waste time? What you say? Okay, I will follow the sir, and I will follow his method, and I will get output. No, you are saying that no, I will refer 10 books and I will prepare my own design. Okay, that is okay, but finally, if you are getting the same result, and then why to waste time, right? So already there are some basic empirical formulas, and these basic empirical formulas are already designed and formulated based on the plan, and they are giving you the results. No? Why to do the stress analysis? Why to do some strain analysis? Directly you can use the empirical. So in your syllabus, we are also using directly empirical design. So my our focus will be on the rational design and the empirical design. I hope it is clear to all of you. And last one is the industrial design. It's actually industrial part when you are working in the industry, not in this particular theoretical part. We are not covering here. Industrial design is very, very important. This type of design depends upon the production aspects to manufacturing any company in the industry. Whenever you are actually, obviously in the company, rational and empirical, you have to go through it. You have to go through the mathematical and the software analysis. But along with that, you have also look, because this industrial design is a separate department. Industrial design is related to the aesthetic considerations, the outer look, external look, the market survey, production facilities, low cost, use of existing standard products. As I said that if the bearings are already designed and available for all the specific applications by the SKF company, why to go for the design? No, no, you will say, sir, I will design the bearings. Why? In industry, you have to give the output in less period of time. Okay, you have to don't waste the time. You have to give the output. So obviously, you have to be very smart enough. That comes under the industrial design. So you have to do the market survey along with the mathematical analysis, stress strain analysis, empirical analysis. You have to look at the market survey. You have to look at the external look. You have to look at the production facilities. You have to reduce the cost, reduce the waste, use existing standard products. So this all comes under the aesthetic considerations, and this aesthetic considerations in the product design has given rise to a separate discipline known as industrial design. And when you work into the industrial design department, you will come to, you will know all this. Okay, we are not covering all this part. We are just designing the basic machine element by using the empirical and rational methods. Okay.